Welcome in to the CHGO Bears Podcast. That's right, all of you jumping for joy that indeed Carm is here on a Friday, and then all of you weeping that Will is not. But maybe we're just all in this together. And look who's producing.
Do you have like a new mic or something? You are so loud.
I don't have a new mic. And
Like
would you like? We were just talking before the show. You didn't say anything then. Now we start the show and you're screaming at me. What are you, Lawrence Benedetto?
He's rubbing off on me.
We just got rid of Mark.
You just got rid of me too, which Benedetto I don't think's ever done. Just get rid of yourself. Braggs, you're welcome to stay on screen the whole time as far as I'm concerned. Nick, good to see you, buddy. I miss you.
Good to see you too. It's been a while. We're already having a great start to the show, but I appreciate everyone for tuning in for this preview show for Week 6. Bears Vikings should be fun.
Yeah, Nick, let me ask you the question that I'm literally asking everybody as we'll get to our offensive keys in about a couple of minutes here. Let's call it, and then we'll get to the defensive keys on the back end here as we hone in on the Bears and Vikings, both coming in with one win. Come to our tailgate, by the way. It's going to be amazing on Sunday. I don't care if it's raining. Braggs is going to walk around with an umbrella for everyone, and he's also going to be giving out back rubs to anybody who wants it. That's right. Still available for you, allchgo.com. Get on in. Bears, Vikes, Sunday. We open at 7:30. Braggs will be there at 5. I'm getting there around 8:30. And, yeah, so come on out. All right. Question for you, Nick. Why, in your mind, are the Minnesota Vikings, who are 1-4, who do not have their best player, Justin Jefferson, who are on the road, who are talking about tanking, at least that's the conversation with a lot of Vikings fans right now, who, with their quarterback, there's discussions about trading him. Why are the Vikings, depending on the sportsbook you look at, and we recommend CIRCA and DraftKings, a 2.5 or 3-point favorite in this game on the road?
I think it's, well, when you look at maybe defensively, what the Vikings have that the Bears don't, like they had one good performance, a good half, I would say, against the Commanders, and we know that the Vikings are a very blitz-heavy team that can cause some complications. Kirk Cousins is leading the league in passing yards and passing touchdowns, Mark. So I think when you're a team that's coming off, 13 wins a season ago, and things obviously have not gone right for the Vikings this year, you're gonna have the favorite over a team that just won their first game in it was nearly a year since they had won a game, but we'll see as we kind of discuss this matchup, Mark, how we both feel about this Bears-Vikings matchup and who actually should be favored in this game.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. And look, the Vikings have played teams overall closer than the Bears have. The Vikings played the Chiefs better. I get it. The Vikings have won the last 4 in the matchup. But what I was getting at, Nick, and you didn't go there. What's up, Matt Nagy? I see you, buddy. You're absolutely right. That it is a coaching situation, perhaps in the spread. And I'm glad that you're happy that I'm here. I'm happy to see you. But so look, you know what's really happening here, Nick? If I may, in Carm Brilliance, put this one under the Carm Brilliance category. The NFL, the gambling world, they don't believe in the Bears yet, buddy. They don't believe in Justin Fields and his 8 touchdowns and 1 interception in his last 2 games. They don't believe that DJ Moore is going to be able to put up 230 yards. They don't believe that the Bears defense, even with healthier players coming back, there is a lack of Bears belief out there, and it's up to us, leading the nation to victory on Sunday as Braggs puts up coffee and Bears Vikings prediction. What a jerk in the middle of my trying to build everybody up here. It's a lack of belief, but we believe as we stand with Justin, we stand with the Bears in this miraculous season as we start to build it back from 0-4 to my 7-win prediction. I won't go any further than that right now, but hey, I don't think they believe. I don't think there's a lot of belief in the Bears right now. I think they're looking at like it's a Bears fluke that they beat Washington on Thursday night. Maybe they were tired after a tight game with the Eagles, that type of thing. What do you think of that? What do you think of that rationale?
I think too, it's like, are they also sportsbooks thinking like the offensive explosion that we've seen the last 2 weeks? Look at the defenses that they played, Mark. Like is that also a factor as to can this actually continue for Justin Fields, Luke Getsy, where things the first 4 weeks were going, completely haywire, but they've been able to turn around at least offensively in the last 2 games. So I think there should be skepticism still with this team, Mark. There's no way that you and I can confidently say that this team is back, is for real, is going to play to their potential every single snap. Like, we need to see consistency outside of what right now is an outlier game where all 3 phases were really playing for a good half and they continued it for, the most part in the second half, but we need to see consistency. So can the Bears actually bring that to a Minnesota team that's kind of hurting right now?
So consistency, let me hone in on that, and then we'll get into our keys here because I've just got so many thoughts in my head this morning, Nick. Consistency, right? I don't know. I thought the Bears played a really good football game against the Denver Broncos. Didn't finish well. Second half could have been a little wonky, but I would say that was a fluke loss. They outplayed Denver. They had a horrible turnover. The one thing that you can't do, got caught on a play. Justin should have ate the football. That changed the football game around. Bears absolutely, in my mind, you play that game, 100 times, they win it 90 times. This was one of the 10 times that they didn't. And then they came out and kicked the crap out of the Commanders. So I would say that we actually are starting to see a drop of consistency. And so, yeah, of course, 3 games in a row and winning back-to-back games for the first time since God knows when. I actually have the numbers here. December 26th of 2021, January 2 of 2022. That's the last time the Bears have consecutive wins. Let me, as far as consistency goes and opponents, let me just remind everybody, I'm going to give Kevin Fishbane, my guy, credit, go Cats, for this, but just from Fishbane's mailbag piece, just a reminder, the Vikings lead the league in blitz percentage, bringing an extra rusher 55% of dropbacks. That's per True Media, he writes. Their pressure rate, however, ranks 30th, according to Pro Football Focus, and they're only 20th in actual real stat, period, in sack percentage. They're blitzing a lot, but not getting home, and their defensive numbers aren't good. Opposing quarterbacks are completing 76.4% of their passes against the Vikings, 31st in the league, and have a passer rating of 110.8, 30th. Justin Fields should play well on Sunday, dude. This should be a good day for Justin, even though the Vikings come a lot. I'm getting more confident by the minute here.
Yeah, I think if you just look back to Thursday night, that was a good defensive front in Washington. You saw some really clean pockets from Justin Fields, that offensive line, getting Tevin Jenkins back. You had a mix-up at center, too, with Lucas Patrick getting injured, Cody Whitehair going in, but they were able to handle the pressure just from the organic, 5 that they usually bring the Commanders. So even though, like you just mentioned, all the stats, they definitely like to bring the blitz. That is Brian Flores. That's his blueprint on this defense and how it's changed in Minnesota, but it hasn't been all too effective. So for the Bears, and maybe just kind of getting into the keys here real quickly, Mark, offensive keys, I was talking to just a bunch of people, from coaches to players, and talking about the blitzes that the Vikings are going to bring. But really, I think they just need to trust their eyes. And I think Larry Borum said this really well. I asked him about how, when you face a blitz-heavy team like the Vikings, what is it that you need to be aware of? And basically he said, trust your eyes, because what they're showing, they're probably bringing it. So if they're showing 6 on the line of scrimmage, expect it. Don't get too worried about who's going to be dropping back. But you go back, watch the Vikings and Chiefs game. They're showing 6, they're showing 7, they're showing 5, Mark. And Patrick Mahomes has to deal with all those guys going at him. And they're doing that to a very experienced, arguably the best quarterback in the league. They're going to try that on Justin Fields. So my first key for this Bears offense going up against this very blitz-heavy Vikings defense, you just got to trust your eyes and have answers for when the Vikings bring the blitz. It's not an if, it's going to be when. So if you have the answers to your hots, to your flat routes, whatever it needs to be, you just need to be ready for it, because Brian Flores is going to do it consistently all game.
So let me back up that key with my own key to combat that, okay? So everybody knows that Deontay Foreman needs to play well. He's stepping in. Part of the reason why Deontay Foreman hasn't been playing well, if you read between the flus, is his effort at practice and just the way he has showed up here. So when he stepped in last year, midseason in Carolina, he took off running the football. But what the Bears need from Deontay Foreman or Darrington Evans or where I'm going to go here, Kari Blasingame, you need a running back who is committed to blocking and picking up the blitz and throwing his body in there and doing a good job and doing everything he can to take harm's way away from Justin Fields. So it's a long-winded answer of just saying, to me, this has a lot to do with the coaching staff and who they put back there. And if somebody, even if Foreman is your best running back in your mind carrying the football, he cannot play a ton on Sunday if he's not doing his job reading, reacting, picking up the blitz. It's something that Khalil Herbert has worked very hard on. He's done a lot off the field to get better at that with his handwork and all the taekwondo, whatever he was doing, just different stuff that it was something in martial arts. I forget exactly if I have it right, but he worked hard on it. They need boxing, whatever. They need that. That's going to be a huge key in my mind, because if they are bringing a lot, who's ever back there has got to step up and do a good job.
That's a really good point, Mark. And this would be a perfect game, ideally, to have Roschon Johnson be a guy who maybe just solely is like your pass blocking back, but that needs to be an emphasis. I can tell you just on the Wednesday practice, the very limited portion we're able to actually watch a Bears practice, that's one thing that they were working on. Here's the blitz pickup, where you need to go, what direction you need to take, how, again, you need to have the proper form, things like that. So if Deontay Foreman, who should be the featured back when we see this week 6 matchup start, he needs to be able to show that he can, like you said, Mark, be a reliable, pass blocking back. But, kind of piggyback off of that, because I also had Foreman, and I kind of had it labeled "Bring Out the Foreman" for this game, because this is a guy that he's been in this role before, where he's had to kind of jump in and be that featured back when the star is maybe either been traded, like in Christian McCaffrey, or in the case of Tennessee when Derrick Henry went down. This guy is getting picked up. I think it was Foreman filled in for Derrick Henry, who went on IR with a foot injury. The Titans signed him on November 2nd of 2021. He ended that season with 112 carries, 497 rushing yards, and 3 touchdowns. Then you have Christian McCaffrey getting traded to the 49ers. He ends up being their featured back in Carolina, 203 rushing attempts, 914 yards, and a big reason why the Bears wanted to bring him here, just seeing that production. So you want to see the Bears be able to run the football in this game, especially if you're bringing so many guys like the Vikings are going to do with their blitz. There's going to be open lanes, and I'd want to run behind Tevin Jenkins right now, depending on how the Bears fluctuate his snaps. But the running game needs to be a part of that, and if Justin Fields is an extension of that, let it be that for Luke Getsy in this offensive game plan, again, against a very blitz-heavy Vikings defense.
All right, I'm getting feedback in the chat here that my mic is too loud. Am I better now? Am I good? How's this?
I think that sounds good.
Is that perfect? Braggs, are you happy with this? Please let me know. All right, thank you for all of that. And thank you for...
You can go a little lower.
A little lower?
A little lower. Okay. Just for the betterment of our viewers.
How about there?
Sound very soothing.
How's that? Is that good?
That's better.
Okay.
Is that
Always
it?
listen to the chat. That's good.
I can keep listening to Mark. Yeah,
I'm paying attention, team. I am paying attention. All right, let me lean into the wide receivers here, Nick, for a second on the offense, if I may. When you went back and watched the Commanders tape, if you did this, you saw how good Justin was, and it was super exciting to me that he was able to stare at Darnell, sell the middle, the beautiful touchdown pass to DJ. Not only was it a great throw, but he held the safety first, and then he fired it, which is elite quarterback play. You cannot do better than that. So, to me, this week is about, boom, I'm looking at you, DJ, boom, 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 and then bam, I'm coming back over here. And dudes should be running free. So Darnell Mooney should not have another game this year where he doesn't have a catch unless he gets injured on the first play. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen. Cole Kmet should continue to emerge in a big way. Same thing with Robert Tonyan, because we're talking about 12 personnel, 1 back, 2 tight ends. If that's how they're going to do it, which is totally fine with me, let's sell that run all day, make things easier for Justin. But those tight ends should be catching a bunch of balls. So for me, it's a lot of I'm going to be looking for Sunday. Justin is dialed in on DJ, and then he's going elsewhere. If the Bears get that going, if Justin can really do that, I'm not going to say the sky's the limit for the offense, but I think it's a pretty tall ceiling for where they can get to.
No, it's a really good point, Mark, because I think in this game, there are going to be times where you have to get the ball out quickly. So whoever's the first read on that play, it's like, let's trust where the receiver is going to be and distribute the football. And right now, it's been primarily to DJ Moore. Obviously, Cole Kmet's been pretty involved in this offense, too, especially in the last 2 weeks. But I think this is a good opportunity for Darnell Mooney to kind of have his, his coming out game, so to speak, because I think there's going to be opportunities where, look, if Justin Jefferson was healthy playing this game, Matty Eberflus already said, when you have a guy like that, you got to tilt your coverage. I'm thinking the same exact thing for how the Vikings are looking at DJ Moore right now, especially after the Thursday night performance. If they're not tilting the coverage, putting a little bit more emphasis on DJ Moore, that's on them. But I have a feeling they're going to try to want to do that a little bit. So guys like Darnell Mooney, I think, are going to have opportunities to, win their one-on-one matchups and just make plays. There were a couple in the Commanders game where whether it was Fields or Mooney, they were just off by, a couple of inches of pay dirt, if so to speak. But I think there's an opportunity for them to really make some big plays. If you think back, the last time Darnell Mooney actually played against the Minnesota Vikings, he has that crazy highlight reel one-handed catch in Minnesota. It kind of sparked the offense, get back in that football game. I think there's going to be opportunities for that, again, depending on maybe the weather a little bit in this one. But yes, you need to be able to just distribute the football. Luke Getsy said he doesn't want to be a one-man show. And right now it's been very heavily skewed to DJ Moore, and he's produced. But the more options you have in the passing game, it really stresses a defense to not have to just cover number 2, but number 11, 85, 18 with Tonyan. So I think this would be a good opportunity for Fields, Luke Getsy, this Bears offense. Distribute the football. Be a point guard. Whoever's open, you're going to get the football.
All right. Any other keys on the offensive side before we move over? And I give you one trivia before we do that as well. I got a little trivia question that I'm wondering if you can answer, Nick, if the chat can answer. And you, Gregory P. Allen Bragalicious, if you can knock this one down. Any other keys on the offensive side?
Again, kind of going back to how Minnesota plays their defense, this could be a game where, one, the footing's not going to be very good. You're having all this extensive pressure coming at different angles. You could see a lot of grabbing, these flags, these holding calls, these miscues on offense. You just really need to be, again, what does Matt Eberflus always say, Mark? Go back to your fundamentals, know how to play the game the right way. And their defense plays can really make you not do that. So especially with the footing, the wetness and everything, you cannot have these pre-snap penalties. So that's definitely going to be a key as well.
Well, Nick nailed it too. Keeping things clean. Because what does the T stand for in HIT's philosophy?
I taught this to you, so you should know. And don't ask me that question because I know.
The ball.
That's right, buddy.
So with it being potentially rainy conditions, Cody Whitehair cannot be snapping it all over the place and having Justin bail him out with amazing plays and then getting 8 yards out of nothing. So in this game, the snap's got to be clean because if there's anything that turns into turnovers, who wins the turnover battle typically wins, especially on a rainy day, potentially on Sunday. But it's not going to rain during the tailgate, just during the game.
Right, exactly. So tailgate's going to be beautiful. And then, from noon to 3, we're going to get all the rain because it's going to help the Bears. We're going to get QB Slide 2, Part 2 t-shirt. Bears getting their second win. Brags in the middle of all of it in some way, shape, or form. All right, here's the trivia question for you. When and who, it's a two-parter, when and who was the last time a Bears quarterback threw for 4 touchdown passes in back-to-back games? Who was it and when was it? I need a year and I need who. Whoever gets it first, chat, Brags, Nick,
the last quarterback to do what? The
last Chicago Bears quarterback, please pay attention, the last Bears quarterback to throw 4 touchdown passes in back-to-back games. Your boy Boogie going with never and no one. That is incorrect.
Well, this is a trick question because Mitch Trubisky once threw 9 touchdowns in back-to-back games, but one was with 6, and then the next game was 3. So that's crap that doesn't count. The last to do back-to-back with 4 is Jay Cutler.
What year?
I'm just guessing. 2012.
That was an impressive job by you right there. I got to give you your flowers on that.
Nice.
It wasn't 2012, but I'm still giving your flowers. It was 2009, December. It's the 2009 season, for the record.
Was one of those games against the Jets?
Nope. It was the last 2 games of the year. One was December the 28th. They beat the Vikings 36-30 at Soldier Field. Jay was 20 of 35. 4 touchdowns and 1 pick, and then he backed it up on the road against Detroit in a 37-23 Bears win, 22 of 36 for 276 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. There you go, your 2009 Chicago Bears, which brags. Do you remember what they finished that year?
In 2009? I don't know. They all blur together.
That's right. It's a nice blur together, 7-9, with with a lovey-dovey and a Ronnie Turner and a defensive coordinator that was
not Mel Tucker.
Bob Babbage, the Bab God.
Bob Babbage.
Ooh, wow,
man. It's been a long time.
Jeez, throwback.
Yeah. So there you go, Carm trivia on a Friday. I'm
Love it.
Jay Cutler, 2009, which is just. How do you feel about that, Nick? When you put it in Justin Fields context, is that impressive or doesn't even matter because Bears quarterback play is Bears quarterback play?
I mean, it's impressive to do. Look, any quarterback that could throw for 4 back-to-back games, 4 touchdowns. I mean, that is impressive. It's just it doesn't happen as often probably as other franchises have with their quarterback play. As obviously the Bears they don't have a lot of the types of performance. So I embrace what Justin Fields doing right now, even if it's against crappy defenses. We'll see how we can build off of that against, again, this Vikings defense.
I'm putting him down for 3 more touchdowns this week, 1 pick. So he's going to have, instead of 8-1, he's going to have 11-2 after 3 weeks. And we're going to be having a hell of a show on Sunday. So put that in your pipe and bet it at the CIRCA Sportsbook, where you get the tight money line splits, you get the low hold model. They always strive to do a -110 split there, so you're not paying the juice on a heavyweight here at CIRCA. They try to keep as much money in your pocket. You want to be doing your betting with CIRCA Sports. They do. If you're a high-end gambler, they don't limit players based on their winnings. So if you're doing that, on the consistent, you want to be doing it at CIRCA. They also encourage bettors, by the way, to download and explore all the betting apps available. You can compare the lines. You'll see that betting at CIRCA is exactly what you want to do, and they've got a huge, just solid contingent of people behind the scenes that you got a problem with CIRCA, you got anything that pops up in some bet that you made that you wanted to cancel or whatever it is, they have it for you. That you can reach out to people in a timely fashion, which you're just not going to get at a lot of the books. So, look, all aspects of the app are being run by the same team that runs the main CIRCA Sportsbook at CIRCA Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. This is what you do. Download the CIRCA Sports Illinois at circasports.com/Illinois-app, circasports.com/Illinois-app. Sign up today and be on the lookout for CIRCA events, watch parties, tailgates. They'll be out with us on Sunday at the tailgate. If you or someone you know has a problem with gambling, by the way, you do need to reach out to 1-800-GAMBLER. Text GAMB to 833-234 or visit areyoureallywinning.com.
Yeah, I see a comment right here from Rockstar80. CIRCA Stadium Swim is awesome. It is the place to be if you're trying to make a whole bunch of bets and just have a good time. Got to go there earlier this year, but I completely agree with you on that one. I got to tell everybody about Soul Savvy. This is a new sponsor that I just connect with on a personal level. But Soul Savvy's been around since 2018, and their mission has always stayed the same. Get sneakers into the hands of people who love them the most. Soul Savvy is a sneaker community that operates in Canada, the U.S., and the U.K. And they have 3 membership levels. They have the basic, which is free, the mobile plus, $12 a month, and premium, $33 a month. And for the basic version, here's what you get. For the casual sneaker buyer, and that's okay if you are, you gain access to the one-of-a-kind marketplace built for you, not resellers, always a plus. And then the mobile plus for the sneakerhead who's always on the go. Build a rotation of sold-out sneakers straight from your phone, and then you got premium. That's the way I go here, you guys. For the sneakerhead who is tired of paying resale, find your grails and grow your collection in the world's biggest paid sneaker community. And look, I can tell you, I already have the app on here. If you're looking on here, watching the stream, I have my eyes on these Marvel Adidas Ultra 4D Spider-Man 2 shoes here. The game comes out next Friday, so I already got them locked and loaded here on the app. So you can do that too with any of your favorite sneakers that are coming out. So make sure you do that. Check it out. But here's the most important part. You can sign up for Soul Savvy by visiting soulsavvy.com/allcity or by downloading Drops by Soul Savvy app. So it's on Apple, Android, whatever you use, you'll be able to find that app and find all the sneakers that your heart desires.
There you go. And public service announcement from good old at the Carm here. Mark Zuckerberg, I don't know what his deal is, but he kicked me off of Facebook. And I've been trying to get my account back and my 4,000 friends for like 2 months. And I can't get a hold of anybody over there. And quite frankly, I hate Facebook, but I need it. So I have started Carm account 2. So if you get a friend request from me or you want to be my friend on Facebook, I now have 74 friends. Started yesterday. So we are trying to build it back to 4,000 as fast as possible. I haven't seen you. I'm not individually going through, Nick. So whoever pops up as add friend, I just, I take like 3 minutes every, 24 hours and just hit yes, be my friend. So be my friend on Facebook.
Are you wearing the bucket hat?
Yes, I am. I'm wearing the, and King Coot, what did I do? I did nothing. Literally nothing. I don't know if it's illegal to post. Like, I assume what I did was post this show on there, and they don't want people on that site driving us to the YouTube. I think that's what it was, but I didn't get a memo from Zuckerberg that you can't do that. So, is that what it was? I have no idea. Believe me, I wasn't on there, talking about my tennis game ad nauseum. That's not why they kicked me out. So, I hate.
Well,
Facebook.
You have one more friend now. Once you accept me. You'll have another friend on Facebook there, Mark.
Yeah, yes. Well, you're in the top 75, Nick. So there you go. Hit me up. I promise you, even if it's some of you in the chat that hate me, I will be your friend on Facebook and we can have just the best time of all times. All right, we're flipping over to the defense here, Nick. Start us off. Defensive keys to the game. Getting to the quarterback's got to be at the top of the list here. But how you moving us into Minnesota?
Yeah, so mine's very specific. With no Justin Jefferson in this game, you're going to be looking at TJ Hockenson, the tight end, and Jordan Addison, the rookie wide receiver who's been putting up a lot of numbers as of late. And against the Chiefs, he had 6 receptions, 64 yards, and a touchdown. But I think one of the keys for this Bears secondary that's looking like they're going to be healthier going into this matchup, you got to play physical at the line of scrimmage. There are a couple plays where you're watching that Chiefs-Vikings game. Jordan Addison, free release in the slot. Able to kind of do what he wants, shifty, can run really fast, precise routes, gets a nice touchdown over the middle of the field. But there's a couple plays where the Chiefs, they're getting right into Jordan Addison's frame, getting him off his route and disrupts the time with Kirk Cousins, incomplete passes. But I think you just need to challenge all these guys that are not Justin Jefferson. Don't let these batch of wide receivers, these playmakers, be the reason why you lose this game. It's a plus to not be playing a guy like Justin Jefferson, elite arguably top receiver in this league. So playing physical at the line of scrimmage, that's one of Tyreek Stevenson's strengths. So if I see that matchup, I want to see Stevenson get right up in Jordan Addison's face, rookie on rookie matchup, and being able to win that with his physicality, throw the timing off for Kirk Cousins, just take another weapon out of, the potential play. But very micro focus, very, thing that I'm going to be watching for throughout this game. But I think that could help over the course of the game if they can disrupt the timing between those two.
So, all right, let's hone in on this though, right? Because you're getting, I assume that Kyler Gordon is going to play. Am I safe in that assumption? Do you think?
I think you're safe in that assumption. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Greg Stroman Jr., how well did he play last week?
I'd say very good in the nickel.
I'd say exceedingly well, right? Terrell Smith's a little bit banged up, but how well did he play last week? And I assume he's going to play too. Right. So, and then you got Tyreek, and then you've got Kyler, and then
Jalen's going to be back.
And Jalen's going to be back, and Jalen Johnson's going to be back too. So I'm very interested to see. I mean, you can't have everybody up. I get it, and you don't want to just do a pure rotation, but you have options now, and it'll be interesting to me to see how they bring guys back in, and how effective can Kyler. I mean, what's he wearing on his hand? Is he completely free and easy? Can he make a play? Like I don't know. They have some interesting options right now. I'm curious how Matt Eberflus will decide to do that part of the game. I don't know what you think he'll do, Nick.
Yeah, so Mark, I could just tell you just from practice and even in the locker room, there is some type of padding over the top of his hand right now, and I don't know if that prohibits him from, being able to catch, but I think it's more so like, obviously he wants to feel comfortable landing. If he gets hit or something, is there going to be pain to it? But there is some type of padding over the top of his hand, obviously where he had the injury, but I think from the movement skill wise, from what John Hoke was saying yesterday, loves everything he's seeing from Kyler Gordon. It's really going to be about conditioning, seeing where he's at to see if he's able to, feel comfortable with him playing on Sunday. But I think if that's all go, like you're going to see still the Kyler Gordon. There shouldn't be limitations on what he would want to do. Like Greg Stroman came on a nickel blitz and got a sack against Commanders. That's the exact type of play you want to see Kyler Gordon doing. And if his hand is good enough to do it, you let him go.
T3P Podcast, who always agrees with everything I say. He's going with Johnson Smith rotation. Could you see that happening? Because when I like to read inside the Flus, and I think people miss a couple things today, this week. One, when Cody Whitehair was brought up, he's like, yeah, well, that's what we have at that spot. And we like that. Like, to me, it was like he almost ran Whitehair down, like, look, this is the only dude we got. So he's going to play. Doug Kramer's not ready to step in. Maybe he will be in the future later in the year, but he's coming off an injury. We're not putting him out there. He's, this is not some elite center in the waiting that we have here. He's an undersized center who probably can maybe do the job, and I'm not going to take him out. I'm not going to put him in there for a veteran. I'm still going to trust Cody. But so that, to me, I didn't think it was a great underlining of Whitehair. But whenever Terrell Smith comes up, Flus is ebullient about him. I mean, he loves this dude. So I'm curious how much, and he's played well. You like that? Was that too big of a word?
What was that word?
Ebullient?
Damn. Okay.
Braggs, do you know what that means?
I can't even tell you if I know what that means. I don't think I've ever heard that word until just now.
Ebullient.
Say that word again.
Ebullient.
Cheerful and full of energy is the definition.
Yeah.
Ebulliient. Ebullient.
Hell yeah. Let's go Iowa education. Freaking go. Love it,
that's exactly right.
But okay, so
I would have thought it was like buoyancy, like they good at floating.
Might have been my greatest moment in podcasting history when I busted out an ebullient on Friday the 13th, October. Keep going, please. Do
So I don't know if there's going to be a Johnson Smith rotation. That wouldn't be the guy that I would have pegged to be out of the order because he was a full participant. That if that hamstring's good to go, Johnson's playing. So Tyreek Stevenson's the interesting one because I think even watching the Commanders game, there are a couple of plays in that game where there's the pass interference downfield. There was one that got picked up where, there's times where Tyreek Stevenson gets a little handsy, can get a little, I don't know if it's frantic right when the ball's about to, approach the wide receiver, but there are those opportunities. There are those times that it's happened. And look, he's a rookie, still learning. But if there's any type of rotation, and I don't really think that's going to be the case, I would think it would be with the rookie Tyreek Stevenson and Terrell Smith as opposed to Jalen Johnson. When he's out there, I expect to see 33 on the field if he's able to play.
Yeah, and in training camp, that was, hey, everybody's giving Tyreek the job. Well, what about this guy Terrell Smith who's playing his ass off? Could he actually push him? And for a second, he was, and then Tyreek reestablished himself as the starter. And Tyreek's played well. I don't want to see him off the field, and I don't want to see Jalen Johnson off the field, and I want to see more Terrell Smith. I forgot who put the comment in there. Might have been Gary Ross, might have been somebody else. I forget. But, could you, in theory, move one of them to safety? Would you try Terrell Smith there with, Eddie still coming back and Jaquan Brisker seemingly intermittently, another good word, missing time? Would you try one of them at safety? I'm not opposed. I doubt it, but I'm not opposed to that. I mean, it'd probably be more along the lines of a Quindell Johnson out of nowhere. But I want to see more Terrell Smith. Right, this dude looks like a player, flat out. Way to go, Ryan Post. Congratulations. And Stroman. This is a guy who's been around, and don't worry about it. Gary Ross is still learning him clearly because he has his name spelled wrong. I can't believe he just did that. But this guy's been in the league since all the way back with the Commanders back in 2018, and then he disappeared, and he's been back with the Bears last year and now here. I'm interested in seeing more. I'm pro late bloomers right here.
Yeah.
Late bloomer.
If Kyler Gordon, there's any concerns about that right hand, then you play Stroman, and then you let your second round draft pick and Kyler Gordon become as healthy as he possibly can. And because Greg Stroman's been playing good football. He really has been. He's been asked whatever he's been asked to do. He's been executing it to the best of his ability. So if that's the case, but I think that Kyler Gordon's going to be good to go on Sunday, you guys. So it's nice that the Bears, they have depth. They have depth at the boundary corner. They have depth at the nickel spot. Obviously, they've been using some depth at the safety position. So that secondary, which we all said was going to be one of the strengths of this defense going into the season, they've gone deep into that pool of players. And, young guys, veteran guys that are late bloomers, they've all stepped up in, specific moments. And that was a big reason why the Bears made the 2 turnovers. That's the reason why the Bears made the 2 turnovers in the game against Commanders.
Yeah, and they were great plays. All right. Other keys, Nick, what else you got on your list here for the defense on Sunday?
Look, Mark, they have to continue to bring pressure, and I think they got to still do it in different ways. The front four played better against the Commanders, but that was also against a Washington Commanders offensive line that wasn't good up to that point in that Thursday night game, and obviously wasn't afterwards. But look, I'm all for bringing your linebackers on blitzes. You saw that with TJ Edwards throughout the game. You saw Tremaine Edmonds get sent on an A-gap blitz. And then you have Stroman coming off the edge. But I would like to see Matt Eberflus take a page out of Brian Flores' playbook and say, oh, let me take that. Let me see if I can dial up this blitz, show 6, bring it. So I think that's what the Bears are going to have to do at this point until this defensive line, the front four, at least can prove that it's capable of doing it on its own, because as of right now, it's still very spotty. And I wonder, the one outlier is the Commanders game. You get all the sacks that you do. Outside of that, there has not been consistent pressure. So get creative with it. I would say with a guy like Kirk Cousins too, he's not going to be one that improvises. He's going to stay in the pocket for as long as he can, rely on his playmakers to get open and distribute the football. He's been very good at that. But I would like to see the Flus get a little creative in this one, bring some extra pressure, however you have to do it, and kind of just look at the opposite side and seeing how Brian Flores is kind of dialing up some pressure, because that can really help in this game.
And I keep wanting to underline this, and I'm getting exhausted by myself bringing it up. I'm bringing it up one more time. Pro Football Focus, Week 5, Gervon Dexter, number 3 in as far as the rating. All players are going. QBs, everybody's on there. He's ahead of C.J. Stroud. He's ahead of Jalen Carter. He had 2 quarterback hits. He didn't get him to the ground, and he had 1 assisted tackle. I guess he's playing great, I suppose. But we're talking about keys. I'd like to see an explosion from the rookies. One of them, Gervon Dexter, senior, or let's go Zach Pickens. Somebody of that ilk putting Kirk Cousins to the ground. If that happens, I will give Bragalicious a hug mid-game if one of the two get that done. That's kind of – I'm looking for a breakthrough here, Nick. Let's go.
I'm ready to give you that hug.
Yeah,
to me, I think that Dexter and and Andrew Billings when they lined up last week with each other, I thought they looked really good. So let's keep seeing a little more of that. For whatever reason, your guy Justin Jones just hasn't had like it felt like last year he made more of an impact than he has so far this year, for whatever reason. So if we can get those two on, to me, Dexter and Billings. Dexter is just such an imposing guy, and Billings he's probably been the most consistent guy in the defense all season long. I want to see more of that tandem. And speaking of that, the only reason I popped in is I wanted to give everyone a reminder here as a little bit of an announcement, but just to let you know that our guys over at the Collector's Cave, who have donated a lot of different things for our golf events and different giveaways for tailgates, they're going to have Gervon Dexter on Tuesday, October 17th here in just a few days at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 3434 South Halstead Street, right down the road from Comiskey. You can get an autograph. You can take a picture with them. Tickets available at www.makingsigningsfunagain.com. I'll be out there. There's going to be more details to come, so stay tuned for those. But just wanted to give people a little heads up that Dexter will be in the Chicago area on Tuesday with Collector's Cave at Buffalo Wings and Rings.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Jinx. I want to. So if this is the week, Mark, where we start seeing the snaps for Justin Jones go down and the snaps for Gervon Dexter go up, I completely understand it, because I think he's starting to feel himself a little bit more, knowing exactly what his role is and how to be the most effective Gervon Dexter he can be. So I think it's time to start seeing that happen. Like, you don't just do it all in one. I think all in one motion where Justin Jones just isn't playing, but throughout the course of this game, like, you want to almost see Gervon out there as opposed to Justin Jones. And Justin's been a great leader for this room. Anytime you talk to Zach Pickens or Gervon Dexter, they always bring up Justin Jones or obviously Yannick Ngakoue. But yeah, Gervon's play is I would think is almost forcing the Bears to want to see more out of him, especially on those early downs.
Did we just get his number wrong? Did we put Dexter as 98 and not 99? Did that happen?
I think it was an old graphic because he did end up changing to 99. So it's hey, it happened.
Greg, would you like to discuss this?
A, this is my guys at the Collector's Cave, so this is their graphic. I'm not going to throw them under the bus here, but B, I just did, and B, sorry, Mike and Aaron, I love you. But B, if you know anything about the autograph game, which I know you don't, when we went to the autograph convention during the summer, you have no idea about the autograph game. But what you should know, Mark, is if anybody got the 98 Dexter jersey, that's actually worth more because it's rare. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, so anytime you have like that rare jersey, sometimes it can be worth more. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good, Greg. Way to turn on
like
negative.
The Michael Jordan number 12, right?
Did he wear
number 12 in a game?
Yes, come on, you should know that.
I do know that.
Who do you wear it against?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, thank you. You
Washington?
Don't know. No. And what happened that he was wearing 12? See these fake Jordan fans out here, Nick. I swear to God.
Do not call me a fake Jordan. I was 6 years old in 1991. You were 62 years old. Okay?
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. Like, I can tell you about Bob Marley, and he passed away before I was born. And I've heard of like Martin Luther King, and I know about Malcolm X, and I even know about George Washington, and have some research. You, on the other hand, are this diehard Bulls fan who can't even tell me that his jersey was stolen. It was
against Orlando Magic.
Against the Orlando Magic.
He just Googled it. He just Googled that. That's not fair. He's definitely too young.
Nick's cheating. That's disgusting.
That's worse.
Now I'm on Bragg's team. I mean, along with my younger son Nicholas Moreano, I'm Mark Carman on the CHGO Bears podcast. Very disappointed in everything that's going on right now. But to make things better, I want to tell you, just become a diehard. Join us, support us, and get great value for yourself. 20% off all our events, including the tailgates. The merchandise is you get a free t-shirt when you sign up. You also get discounts on all the shirts. We got our Discord where you can hang out with everybody in the chat on another deeper level. And if you're coming out to the tailgates, next 3 tailgates, X Golf is giving away a $200 gift certificate to any of their Chicagoland locations. $200, and that ain't nothing. So you're going to find the X Golf nearest you at playxgolf.com /Chicagoland, playxgolf.com /Chicagoland. Yes, $200 gift certificate, and I promise you we're not going to let Braggs and his fake golf game steal the gift certificate so he can try and, like, you know, I don't know, get something that would help that sad ass 120 plus. That's what I score at any real course game. So, at any rate, become a diehard, allchgo.com. We greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely check that out. You have to come to the tailgate this weekend against Bears Vikings. Going to be a really good time. But also, you got to check out FOCO, you guys. If you want to get fitted in the best sports gear around, you already know where to go. FOCO, they have hoodies, shoes, signs, bobbleheads, literally everything in between. And right now it's hockey season. It's Connor Bedard season. You have to get all the essentials you need to be, one, the most ready hockey fan, Chicago sports fan in town. And you already know where to go. It's FOCO. And if you ever watched our show when we're in studio in the West Loop, set decorations, man, FOCO has donated a few of those awesome pieces that you see every single time you turn on the CHGO Sports YouTube channel for us on our sets. So go show them some love. And you can do that by going to FOCO.com or just click the link in the description below for all non-presale items. Use that promo code CHGO for 10% off.
All right, we wrap it up here with, I don't know if this is your favorite part of the show here, but I'm pretty excited about it. We got our X Factor, we got our bold prediction, we got our most valuable bear, and we got a game prediction. So, Nick, start me off with your X Factor as we get ready for the Vikings noon Sunday X Factor. That looks like DJ Moore to me, but go ahead.
You know, it definitely could be DJ Moore, but my X Factor is someone that maybe you're not really thinking about, but could be a huge contributor in this game. I'm going back to D'Onta Foreman there, Mark. I think the ability to be able to run the ball effectively, the ability to, one, you talked about it, being able to be a running back that can pass block, that's going to be needed in this game because of how much pressure the Vikings bring. But I think the Bears need to stay on schedule with their rushing attack. And when you're down 2 of your guys that are ahead of you in Roschon Johnson, Khalil Herbert, I think there's going to be a lot asked of a D'Onta Foreman, especially if the weather conditions play a factor in this. Need to be able to run the ball. The Bears did a pretty good job of that against the Commanders in that front. So I'm going with D'Onta Foreman as my X factor in this game against the Vikings.
So I like it. Dude who's been discarded, getting a chance, motivated, all of that. That excites me. But I'm going with a guy that has not done what I set him out to do to this point, and I still have a bet that I'm going to win. Who's going to have more touchdown catches this year, Chase Claypool or my guy Robert Tonyan, who wasn't getting the football early and is now starting to emerge but hasn't gotten in the end zone. The last time he did get in the end zone was against the Minnesota Vikings as a Green Bay Packer. We are looking for other options. Cole Kmet had a little bit of a hamstring issue, which he didn't share with us when he was on the show earlier this week. I still think Cole hopefully is going to play big. But I can just envision a healthy Bobby Tonyan streaking across the middle in the end zone, Fields finding him, touchdown Bears, one of his 3 touchdown passes. Mark it down, Sunday, X Factor, Robert Montgomery, Greg Braggs, Tonyan, Bears.
I don't think that's the middle name, but I love it. I love it there, Mark, going outside the box there. I think that's the first Robert Tonyan X Factor this year, so look at you doing the preview show and bringing out the newness.
Fishbane in the chat saying, hey, Carm, did you know that Robert Tonyan is from the area and grew up a Bears fan? Kevin, I don't know if you were listening at the start of the show, but I read from your piece directly in The Athletic today. Direct read of your breakdown of how the Vikings, yes, they blitz a lot, but they suck at stopping anybody. So thank you for that great detail because it helped kick off the show. And listen, yes, Braggs.
So you're saying their defense is like Northwestern's basketball team?
Okay, Braggs. Listen, I got season tickets to the Cats this year, but I haven't had them in a long time. Fishbane's a long-time Cat season ticket holder. not only do I have a media pass, but I got season tickets to the Cats. So you better be nice to the Wildcat hoop team and the 3-3 Wildcat football team. And of course, I know that Robert Tunyon came out of McHenry, Illinois. Come on, Fish. You know that I know this. McHenry East High School. Indiana State. I'm not even looking at his Wikipedia page right now to make sure that I'm correct as I'm reading these things. All right. On to the next. Let us move to the bold prediction, which we did X Factor. I almost feel like I just gave a bold prediction, but go ahead with the bold prediction here, Nick.
Yeah, I think for these I've been tempering the bold predictions and not going too crazy. But this one, I don't even know if it's that crazy. I have Darnell Mooney being the leading receiver in the entire game. So obviously there's no Justin Jefferson, but there's still DJ Moore out there. You have Jordan Addison on the other side. But when it's all said and done, like I said earlier, I want to see this be Darnell Mooney's, signature game as of right now up to week 6. So Darnell Mooney will be the leading receiver in the entire game. I'll put a stat line out there for you. We'll do 5 receptions, 111 yards, and 1 tutty. So boom. Oh, Mark, it looks like you muted yourself. So.
God,
Bragg's definitely.
I did nothing. Do not blame it on me.
I don't even know how that's possible. I maybe I must.
You don't.
Oh wow! A bold prediction from our guy Adam Hogue in the chat here.
Bold prediction: Carm doesn't fall asleep during the game Sunday. That's rude. That is absolutely rude and admittedly slightly bold. So
it was a night game. I get it. It gets a little later, and the Bears are already winning. You're feeling good. You can take a nap. Last Thursday.
Okay, for the record, I had COVID last Thursday night. I laid down on my couch to watch that game by myself and was in complete danger of having like a 5-minute cat nap. And I didn't fall asleep for 1 second because I was that dialed in on Bears Commanders. So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
I just want to know. I just want to know what we did to be so lucky to have these media pillars of our community in the chat here today. This is a pretty big deal.
You never know who's going to pop up.
Did you hear the shot that he just took at you, Hogue? He called you a media pillar and Fishbane. That's hey, listen, it's Friday. They clearly have nothing to do, and God bless them for being here. We appreciate it. All right, my bold prediction is this. Dude, your name is Justin Fields. You have rushed for 191 yards on the season through 5 games. That is less than 40 yards a game. Even Greg Braggs can do that math. Maybe not, actually. Never mind. All right. I think Fields is going to get over at least half of the yards that he's gotten all season this Sunday. So that would compute to, Greg, what's half of 191? That would be 85.5. Don't worry about it. So I got Fields over 85.5, which is way higher than what he's been clocking in at 60 yards a game. I think this is going to be the day that we see Justin Fields break out running the football against this Vikings defense. He's going to be running free and getting to the end zone once with his legs. Let's go, Bears.
Man, I love that. Let's see Justin Fields go off and do it through the air, on the ground. Justin Fields Day for the 3rd straight game. Let's go.
And did I just say? Did I just get my math wrong? Did I do the math wrong? That's embarrassing. If I did,
I don't even know what you said.
I think I said 85.5, and 191 would be 95.5. That's a bad job. Whoopsie.
Oh, how the turntables!
It's a terrible feeling. It's a terrible feeling. But at least I own it, unlike some of us around here who don't own their Chase Claypool was dominating training camp and fought that to the end and still fighting it now.
If we got to get Nick's notes back from the first 10 days to prove this, we will. We'll do a whole show on it.
No, I think that belongs in your spaces. All right. Nick, all right, let's go. Most valuable Bear. Who do you got?
Okay, so Will and I always do this with the caveat that we don't put Justin Fields in there because he can always be like the most valuable Bear. So if that changes it, I'm going to let you think about it. But the most valuable Bear for week 6, people are going to not agree with this at all. But I have it being Jaquan Brisker being the most valuable Bear when it's all said and done. And here's the reason why. There's going to be, I think, a heavy emphasis for TJ Hawkinson to really make his stamp on this game, whether it's over the middle of the field on seam routes, physical guy at the line of scrimmage, can block, can do everything that you want out of a tight end. There's going to be a lot of times where it's going to be Brisker on him. He's going to be asked to be in run support. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities for Jaquan Brisker to make some impact plays in this one. So I think we see the best game that we've seen from Jaquan Brisker probably since the last time they won prior to last week against New England, where he was making plays, got the one-hand interception. But I'm going Brisker being that MVP. You're going to see his name all over the stat sheet, make some impact plays, and really hopefully clamp up TJ Hawkinson on Sunday.
I like it. I like the angle too, but I am going to go with somebody else in the secondary. Look, Kirk Cousins has had a lot of success against the Bears. It's kind of making me a little bit nauseous thinking about how well Kirk has done. And, of course, the Vikings have won the last 4. But I do think that they get a very hair on fire. We mentioned it earlier, and somehow, some way, even with that pat on the hand that Nick's talking about, I think Kyler Gordon sprints back onto the field this week. And I'm going to say that Kyler Gordon gets his first pick of the year. And we're all sitting there screaming for 6 and Spider-Man and enjoying the fact that he's back out there, because when you're sitting, the dudes are coming for your position and making plays. I like that, a little extra motivation for Gordon to prove that, hey, I'm back and I'm Kyler, and there's a reason why I was Ryan Poles' first draft pick, and I'm about to do it to Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings. I didn't have pick 6 in my mind when I thought of this one, but I'm thinking about it right now to go even bolder. But I'm going to make Kyler Gordon my guy.
When we were interviewing Jaquan Brisker, I think it was yesterday, Kyler Gordon was at his locker and Jaquan Brisker's at his locker, and Brisker's kind of looking over. And all Kyler Gordon doing in the background is a little Spider-Man, like web shooting stuff. And he couldn't really even focus. He's like, there's Kyler doing Kyler stuff. So if Kyler goes out and does his thing on Sunday, all for it. Love seeing that guy and just how he plays the football right now.
Nick, give me your prediction before we get out of here. And by the way, actually, I can ask the chat something. If you were, for some reason, not able to come to our tailgate on Sunday, which is tragic if you couldn't, but if you, for some reason, you had something that you had to do Sunday early in the morning and you were just driving to Soldier Field, I asked Greg Braggs this question, but I've got people asking me where to park, and I don't know the answer. So for you diehard Bears fans out there, I'm just curious for your best parking strategy. These people, I'm curious what we got out there. I'll check it out. But all right, Nick, back to more important things. Give me your prediction for Sunday.
Yeah, and I think the whole entire CHGO Bears crew is in line here, but I have the Bears winning this one 24-17. I think we still see the offense continue to do its thing. Look, the Vikings are a different team without Justin Jefferson. Any team missing a caliber receiver like that, they are going to be different. And I think the Bears are going to be able to handle and figure out where the blitz is coming from and have answers. So if you could do that, it's a very beatable Vikings team. I know they've played some competitive games, including the last loss to the Chiefs, but I have the Bears winning this one, going on a 2-game winning streak. The last time they won a division game, Mark, November 25th, 2021. It's been a long time since the Bears have beaten a divisional opponent, so this is going to happen on Sunday, 24-17 Bears.
10 straight, right? 10 straight division losses is the number.
Yeah.
Whoops. Yeah, I feel very nervous that literally everyone is picking the Bears to win, including myself, but I did take them. Bear the hell down. Bears 27, Vikings 24, Minnesota. The line continues to scare me, but listen, I'm just going to hold it that Vegas is late jumping on this Bears train. They've been late on DJ. They've been late on Justin, and at least the last couple of weeks on throwing the football. And I'm going to believe they are late on the Bears actually winning some football games here. So, look, it is time. I don't want to think about 1-5, even though you could quickly make the argument that it's a win-win for the Bears because they'll be ahead of the Vikings in the tankathon if we do lose. So there would be that one bit of positive, but I don't want to even that. Bears win by 3 in a tight one. Everybody's having a great time at Soldier Field, and you're all watching our post-game show at 3 o'clock on Sunday. Yes, Braggs.
And I have the Bears also winning 24-20. It should be sloppy conditions. So I'm expecting a few turnovers, some fortuitous turnovers for the Bears, putting them in good field position. And I'm with you. I think the Kyler Gordon aspect, I'm really excited to see him out there. I think it's one of the more undersold conversations or stories here of the start of this season. I don't think a lot of Bears fans realize how much they're missing with Kyler Gordon not out there, because last year he was still coming into his own as a rookie. But if you watched him in the preseason or at training camp, he was going to be a guy that was a real difference maker and a tone setter for this team. And him not being there, I think kind of people have pushed it to the side and don't realize just how impactful that injury has been. And they've had a few, but I think that's been their most impactful. So I'm excited to see Kyler Gordon back out there. And yes, I have the Bears winning. What did they say in Major League? All right, we won one game. Now we can win two. That's called a winning streak. It has happened before. And all the players like, yes. So that's what we're hoping for here.
We got to get out of here and I'll get some super chats. But I want, Greg, don't go anywhere. Can you sing the Spider-Man song?
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. When Carm runs, he hurts his legs because he is old and can barely do anything.
Here comes the Spider-Man. All right, let's do $1.99 for my guy Mike. Are you nervous of other teams tanking from the Super Chat world? No, I'm not, Mike, because it's 5 games in, and I'm not thinking about that right now, even though Braggs brings it up every single day.
Of course you're not thinking about it because you're a loser. But Nick brought up a really good, I'm sorry, I get mad at people that don't want to even think about the Panthers situation, and Nick brought up a good point. Don't make the noise. I'll kick you out of here like I did for After Dark. Now, Nick brought up a good point. We need our Panthers to lose as many games as possible this year, if not all of them. And now this week, they play the Browns without Deshaun Watson. Nick was pointing this out to me before the show started. PJ Walker, former Chicago Bear, will be starting for the Cleveland Browns against Carolina. So let's go, PJ.
Hold on a second there, buddy. You're saying that Carolina is playing the Browns?
That's what Nick told me. And if he's wrong, then I'm going to throw Nick under the bus.
Because as far as I remember here, I'm double checking the schedule just to make
they play the Dolphins.
They're playing the Dolphins, so I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
What have you done to me?
I literally
no
did
the graphic yesterday. Nick, you better tell everybody this isn't my fault.
No, it is your fault because
your fault.
you double check people's work, and they're playing the Dolphins. And it's just like I'm not worried about people's tank right now. I'll get nervous when we get there. All right, $5. Dan Evans, that was an incredible loaf right there. The game against the Broncos was not a fluke loss; it was a floose loss. You know, Dan.
It was more on the Bears than it was about the Broncos coming back. I'll say that. Like, it was more just because the Broncos are awful.
Yeah, but if you want to put that on coaching, you put that on Getsy. It's not Flus. Flus is not calling the offense. Getsy called the boot that got blown up. Getsy called the 4-and-1, the 4th-and-1 gun play that didn't work. Flus is not in charge of the offense. I think he got in there and made some changes for him after that. But I think if we're going to name a coach on that one, I wouldn't put it on Flus. I'd put it on the Getsy. All right, let me get the Bears Bastard $9.99. Morning, fellas. I don't care how bad it's raining Sunday. Please let JF1 sling the rock. He's smiled more the last 2 weeks than I've seen the last 2 years. Let him do what he does and take over. The Bears Bastard, that is Carm level analysis, looking at how much someone is smiling. So I appreciate you for that. By the way, friend me on Facebook because Facebook kicked me off and I want to get to 100 friends. All right, even though I had 4,000. You suck, Zuckerberg. All right, next is who? I can't see. Maybe I can. More from the Bears Bastard, another $9.99. I have this feeling that these next 2 weeks are going to determine if Poles starts selling. If they're 1-6 after the Raiders, I can see Jalen or Mooney being trade candidates. Thoughts? The Jalen thing is interesting because if you have a surplus there and you're not going to sign him, maybe you trade Jalen, period. Because let's be honest, the Bears are not trying to win a Super Bowl this year. They're trying to become a a sneaky playoff team at this point, I would say, is the goal, and have to see the quarterback make major strides. But both those names are going to be interesting coming up to the deadline. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, especially if there's a market for them. If they're playing well, the Bears are losing, then right, you sell when you're high. And if those guys are, are not going to be a part of your future, then yeah, you think about that. But we'll see what happens over these next 2 weeks and see if that's the situation the Bears are in.
All right, last couple here. Should we beg Frank Clark to join the Bears? I mean, the dude's been banged up, Daniel, but I'm not opposed to some reinforcements on getting to the football. Maybe there's a drop of gas left in that tank.
Yeah, I would have to really look into it with Frank Clark. But I mean, we just talked about the Bears are not getting enough pressure with their front four right now. Would he help? Again, I don't have that answer, but they probably do need some other guys there.
Yeah, it's hard to fight that they need other guys. All right, Ben, we'll see you at the tailgate. Castellanos hitting bombs for the Phillies, or at least your long lost cousin is doing that, and you're coming to the tailgate. That's sweet.
That's my buddy from high school, Ben. If you see the 6'8" guy, 300-pound 6'8" guy, that's Ben. Go say hi. He played on the softball team. Has a permanent injury like myself.
So Ben's your guy where he's always out with you on the different events. I've seen him
played on
Okay,
he played on the softball team
last year when we were bringing up ringers. He's got a permanent injury now at his hand. So
this year we brought in no ringers, which is why we won the championship. Phil Younan, Carman, we need your tennis instructor at the tailgate. I have some words from you. You know what? That dude Hector is not invited ever because he sucks. And if we're talking about what happened to me earlier in the week, that's who I think you're talking about, because I don't have an actual tennis instructor because I am a podcaster and I'm not a lawyer and I can't afford such a thing. But
why don't you thank our friends at Sunnyside before we head on out of here?
Oh, well, of course, Gregory. That's an excellent point by you. Actually, I from what I see, I thought that Nick was supposed to tell everybody about what car they should be driving, as far as what I can tell.
Yeah, are we doing Sunnyside, or are we driving a car? I mean, I'm going to tell everybody about what car you should be driving real quick, because if you're in the market for a new vehicle, you know exactly where you need to go. Ray CDJR, Ray Chrysler, which stands for Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, and in Fox Lake, of course, they joined the CHGO team. We're just building this team, adding more and more great people. But at Ray CDJR, you're always able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest inventories and find unforgettable savings. And right now, during Ram Power Days at Ray CDJR, only in Fox Lake, you'll be able to secure 0% financing or 17% off new Ram models. But that's not all through October 31st. So you got some time for the entire month here. Explore their newly renovated showroom or take advantage of limited time 7-year anniversary savings. So again, if you're in the market for a new vehicle, then you have to check out the team at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, because they're the only team we recommend here at CHGO. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. For more information, visit Ray CDJR in Fox Lake or raycdjr.com today. Serving the community since 1963.
Ray, I'm looking at that Volt, baby. I'm feeling a Volt for myself. I got a 2018 used one. I got my eyes on. So if you do go to Ray and you buy a car, don't buy that one, because I kind of want it. All right. Hey, Nick, good to be with you. Of course, you'll be at Soldier Field on Sunday. You'll be at the tailgate as well, I'm assuming, for a little pregame action. Yes, that's a yes. Yep. Greg Braggs, thank you for producing. Kevin Fishbane, thank you for joining the chat. You too, Adam Hogue. And the chat today, as always, you guys are freaking awesome. We love you. So thank you. Bear the hell down. Let's go. And King Book of World, back at you, my friend. Back at you, Matt Nagy. Back at you, Walter Cronkite. Everybody have a great rest of your Friday. Stay safe out there. And, we will see you Sunday for our pre-game show. Have a great rest of your day.
We all silly like the mayor.